Hello everyone and welcome to TakuCast Zero E3 special, and today we're doing the Sony conference. So I am Gun and I'm joined by
Dad Honey Badger.
and
Digital Wolf.
and
Hongo.
yes, great success. Alright, so where do we start? We started off with the Visa talk.
Yep.
So what should we see? We saw Batman, Arkham Origins for the Visa. Is that an exclusive for Visa or is it coming to 3DS too?
3DS as well. Or at least I remember seeing a screen for 3DS somewhere.
Yeah, they showed it during the Direct.
Yeah.
Okay. And was there anything?
Yep, it's Vita and 3DS, yes.
Anything worth noting about the Visa port? No?
Wait, huh? Say that again?
Is there anything worth noting about the Visa version of it?
Not that I know of. I don't remember if there's any particular special differences between the two that I know of. It might probably visually look better, but I don't know exactly if there's particular differences. Something special, but we just have no idea.
Okay. So they also announced Counter Spy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone have anything to add about that?
I actually have not heard of that before that event.
Like
So
I'm reading this on this list and I don't remember seeing it.
So I don't remember that at all.
Okay, this list could be grossly inaccurate. We'll see how this goes.
It looks like PS4. What the fuck?
Yeah, it looks like kind of like some kind of side-scrolling kind of game. I haven't seen it much before actually, but it was announced a while ago, back in May apparently.
They didn't go into too much details in the Visa games, so we shouldn't either.
No, not really. Yeah. So let's kind of list them all out.
So there was Destiny of Spirits as well, Doki Doki Universe, Killzone Mercenary, which got a big cheer, Tearaway, God of War HD 1 and 2, Final Fantasy X, and Final Fantasy X-2, Flower and Dead Nation. Also, The Walking Dead 400 Days, the Visa bundle, I think.
Yeah.
So, anyone have anything to say about any of those games I just listed out?
Well, I was glad to see the Final Fantasy, the animation. I guess it wasn't as good as current standards, but it still looked pretty okay. So, considering the time period. And also I was pretty happy to hear about God of War as well. But I don't know too many people that are probably going to be too into that because they probably already played it a lot already.
True.
So, yeah. Mercenary I'm still really excited about. And also Tearaway too. I think that might be pretty good. But a lot of the other games already played.
You have a Visa, don't you?
Yep.
Hongo, do you have one?
Yep.
Anything there catch your eye? Something that you think you'll have to get?
I'd say Dead Nation will be pretty good on the Vita. It's good on the PS3, and it worked really well for a handheld because it's like a top-down. You run around. Have you guys played it?
I got it free with the PSN outage that time. It's like a twin sticks shooter thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's basically, that's pretty much it. But it should work on the Vita really well, so that'll be fun to play.
I hope they add some content though. They definitely need to add to it in order to make it a worthwhile purchase.
True.
Yeah.
True. So, anything else? Or we'll move on to the PS3 lineup?
Yeah, we can move on.
Alright, so for the PS3 lineup, they showed us The Last of Us, Puppeteer, Rain, Beyond Two Souls, Gran Turismo 6, and Arkham City Origins again. So, what do we think about that?
I guess we could probably do these in order because these are some.
Okay, so The Last of Us first.
I personally skipped that one because I like Lift Away.
Closed the window and muted it, so because I was like,
Right. I was in the same boat. So, I mean, the game comes out in like 30 days. I don't need to see anything else.
Well, it didn't really show too much anyway, I don't think.
No, they just showed a bunch of gun combat and some physical combat, and that's about it.
Nothing major.
Cool.
Right, so
that's
Puppeteer came next.
super excited about that one.
Yeah.
It looks interesting anyway.
Yeah, like it looks interesting on like both a presentation level and then just the gameplay looks fun too, because it kind of like seems like how it is it's like everything's kind of like put out like a stage, like you have like they have like scenery items just kind of like dropping in and stuff, so it's kind of like everything's like on one stage, and then what they're doing is they like throw around like paper objects and you use the scissors to like cut those objects to stay in the air.
Yeah.
So it's like if you need to get really high to like slam down an enemy or something like that, you just like kind of like cut paper upward as you keep going, and then bam, you just slam on it. So it looks like it has some really cool gameplay stuff going on.
So that's something to look forward to. Hongo, anything
Yeah.
to add about that?
The cutting the paper. Did you guys ever play Patchwork Heroes on the PSP?
Yeah, I remember that.
Nope.
Played a demo of it.
It was kind of based on from what I read, they made that game to make it. The guy said he got a thrill or something for cutting paper, and he wanted to make a game about it, and so that's how they made that game.
It's pretty creepy.
And
Yeah.
That's weird.
yeah,
How long will it take for it to move on to flesh?
Starts off innocent.
Yeah,
It cuts differently.
they always start with the paper.
yeah. It just doesn't make the right sound.
Oh my god.
Okay. Okay, so Rain came up next, and I think that looks pretty unique and pretty cool. What about you?
Oh yeah. Very emotional.
Are you
Had,
emotional
like,
watching
little
it?
girl crying. It had like the dramatic music and the little invisible girl crying, and then like these little creepy animals walking around and stuff. And
Yeah, they look like something from Silent Hill.
Pretty cool though. I like them. Well, I kind of like them games where you don't really have much weapon.
Yeah.
You know, they're pretty intense.
If I had dead animals walking around me and I was caught in the rain, I'd be crying too.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I'm
That's a
so
good
glad
point.
you're able to open up this Hongo.
So,
Just be open.
are we done with Rain?
Yeah.
It's coming to PS3 sometime later this year. So, Beyond Two Souls, which was surprising.
Oh yeah.
A
Yeah,
lot more actiony than I thought
Exactly.
it would be, you know.
Yeah. She
it looks
gets-
like we might have control. I mean, you had control in Heavy Rain, but this one looks like it might be more dynamic.
Yeah, I get you.
Much more gamey than
Yeah,
story.
more like a third-person game, you know.
No, I didn't see anything about controlling like the shooting and stuff like that from it was not just in the conference. I saw some stuff before that because they had revealed that kind of part beforehand, and it was like just I guess it was like picking out targets, and you were still using whatever that ghost was called, or
Aiden or something. isn't it?
something like that. So you were using him to kind of you're still using him to dynamically kind of take control of enemies or whatever, and then that would give her the ability to move forward or take out another enemy or something like that. So there's like a lot of levels of what's going on in those scenes. So, but I was expecting her to be wielding guns and something like that. I was like kind of like that's like a different facet of what I was expecting.
Yeah, I was expecting her to be kind of like the vulnerable type, and like you would like play out the environment kind of maybe.
Yeah.
But it looks like she actually can kick some ass.
It seems to span over several years as well. Like, it shows her like in a goth phase and all this kind of crack.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, true.
You're not my real dad.
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. William Dafoe, how did you get in my room?
Seriously, don't question Dafoe though.
There's two of us in here now.
Yeah. Nice one.
Okay, so this is to get Wolf in the mood. Gran Turismo 6.
Woo.
Yeah, he's hot and steamy over here.
Yep. Yeah, I'm happy my wheel works with it, so that's always good to see. But watching a trailer for that, though, I mean, you watch that trailer, I watched that trailer, and then I look at the Forza trailer, and then I'm like, there's not a big difference, which just tells me how amazing their engine was from the get-go, and then they just made it better, and they've improved the physics. They're showing physics improvements and stuff like that, and the suspension going and all this other junk, and then they're at tessellation and stuff. which is adds more detail. It's like the only thing that's holding their engine back is can only handle so much textures. Like texture resolution is their only downfall, but they can't do anything about that. But it's only a matter of time.
Are you? Sorry, go ahead.
If they do a PS4 port, they'll probably add in the stuff they wouldn't be able to do with the PS3 version.
Yeah, there's like so many things they could do with their engine that like their engine is just only scratched the surface on the PS3. There's so much they could do. They squeeze so much out of that, it's ridiculous.
So there's rumors of a PS4 version coming along. So if it does come along, do you think there'll be a huge difference between them?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be definitely a huge difference.
Right, so Arkham City Origins again, but this time for the consoles. What should we think about that?
I'm sorry, repeat that?
Arkham City Origins?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Console version this time, though.
Right.
So yeah, it kind of showed. It kind of looks. Well, it wasn't a huge amount of gameplay there, was there? It's kind of mainly kind of story stuff going on, showing enemies.
Yeah, like cutscenes.
Yeah.
What looked like cutscenes.
But
And
then
you get to play as Adam West Batman. So.
Exactly. They dropped the bombshell.
Yeah.
Exclusively. Yeah. That's what won E3 right there.
Yeah.
The war is over. It's done.
I'm still kind of. I'm still kind of getting used to the art style, though. It's like there's a definite difference from what I'm used to seeing from the Batman games, but it still looks good. It's just it looks like somewhat off to me, but everything else, like gameplay wise and stuff like that, still looks very solid.
Okay, so we still have our hopes high for that game.
Yeah.
Next was GTA 5, and they didn't actually show anything. It was just they announced a bundle for a $300 GTA 5 bundle with the PS3, and you get them Pulse Elite headsets modeled after like a GTA 5 decal on them. And I have those.
It looks like they're green. Like the underside of it's green.
Yeah, like a green highlight.
Wow. Super professional.
Well, yeah, that
my family.
I have that headset, and it is very, very good. Like it vibrates when the bass goes off, or not the bass, bass. That's just how Irish people pronounce it, okay?
No, it's not.
Shut up.
We're American, we don't know.
Yeah, America.
They live in America here.
Oh, wow. I have the previous model, so I know the previous model's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
I
what
know
I
the
have.
post ones. Right.
I've got the exact one of that, except without the 5 on the side.
Right.
So yeah, it's worth it, I think, if you're interested in a PS3 and GTA.
I just want to know if they'll work with PS4.
I'm interested to know
They
as well.
should.
Because they said the DualShock 3 won't, which I can understand that since there's no backwards compatibility, but I see no reason why the headsets won't work if the PlayStation Move will work. So
they should.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't see any reason for it.
Then the news that everyone was waiting for came along after that, which was they showed off the actual console for the first time, and what were your impressions of it?
It was interesting. It was definitely interesting to see. I'm not disappointed in it. It looks. It's interesting. I don't even have a word for it.
It's interesting. Okay, we get it. Well, it's interesting.
It's the fat PS2 and the original PS2 that came out at first, and the slim PS2 that they kind of put those together. That's what it reminds me of.
2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. It equals 5.
What?
I'm just kidding.
It was had like a blue beam of light going halfway through.
Yeah.
Do you think that will serve any
like there's
function?
going to be a blue light on the bottom. Like under the disk drive, there's another looks like a little light right there.
Do you think the blue light will change color or serve some kind of different purpose?
I personally doubt it.
It'll probably just show that the power's on or that there's
Yeah.
Badger,
Like with the
sorry.
I was just gonna say the PS3, like the power light is green, and then whenever there's a disc in the system, the blue light comes on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Badger, what did you think of it?
Of what now?
The PS4 console itself.
I don't know. It's a tough one. I mean, I like that it's fairly sleek looking, modern design. It reminded me of the layout of a McDonald's, how the outside.
Okay. Maybe this is just on my end, but you're kind of cutting out.
Oh yeah. What about the other guys?
They kind of cut out a little bit too, but the quality's kind of dipped. But hopefully,
Fantastic.
it's still manageable.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll move on.
That's not bad enough to where we can't understand you. It's just digitizes a bit.
It's just
Yeah.
you're an animal. Let me see. Well, I don't know. It's hard to kind of know. Again, the only thing I can say is I'm surprised how slim it was considering how much power was in it, I was very impressed by that they managed to get it so sleek. I'll be interested to keep it. That's it, really. I mean,
More powerful.
to me, like, I don't really give a like, it could look like a big dick. If it's a good console, I'll get it.
What were you saying there, Wolf?
According to that NVIDIA report, it's supposed to be a bit more powerful than the Xbox One, isn't it?
Yes, well, the specs-wise, but what I'm wondering is, will the Xbox's specs cancel that out and make it even? Because, the Xbox cloud services, how the cloud will handle some processes on their end, and it'll take pressure off the console to do other things.
Visually, it shouldn't, because that's not. It's probably just because it can't really do much with graphics processing power, but more like this background processes. Like even what they showed with Forza was more along the lines of storing and processing data, not really calculating things.
But that's what they're planning to do. Is so to use the DayZ standalone as an example, they're going to be doing the same thing with connection to the server. It's pretty much the same thing in my opinion. Where the reason it's going to be less than the current DayZ mod, the Arma 2 mod, is because the server is going to handle things, even my keystroke, zombie path finding, all things zombie related, and it won't be down to your rig. So that's just an example.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be something similar on the Xbox One, but we're not talking about that right now.
Any thoughts on that, Hongo?
I just think it would won't that take up a lot of bandwidth to do that?
I don't really think so. I think once you've connected to it, it's not really. But I'm definitely speaking out of school on this subject, but I don't like that much. They wouldn't be doing it and banking on it that one, obviously with the Xbox One, for example, you need the internet, so they can't be you also need good internet, because not many people have good internet.
Right.
Right.
Latency is kind of a factor when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's why I'm not buying. I was going to get a console on launch day, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting until after to get the lay of the land and see what's happening.
Yeah.
Considering how sold out the thing is, you might have to wait one way or another.
Yeah.
True.
All right.
Okay, so after that, Andrew House came back on to talk about the kind of services that they have. So it's kind of like Video Unlimited, Music Unlimited, Netflix, Redbox Instant, and Flixster. I'm sure only Netflix is applicable to those outside of the US. But yeah. What do you think about that? Anything interesting to note there? Not really.
Sorry.
You can go on.
I was going to say, as far as services like Netflix and things like that in consoles, I personally don't use them, so I kind of shut down for this portion of it and waited for the games to start coming back up.
I actually use Netflix myself.
I use it on my laptop, but then I wasn't using it enough to justify the money I was spending on it, so I canceled my subscription.
All right.
Yeah, me. I use Crunchyroll a lot more recently. Actually, I have been watching much on Netflix. I still pay for it, but just because it's just like a minor thing. But I guess them going over this portion, I guess, was just kind of to say they still have that interest in TV. It's just not their forefront, so it's still going to be there. They're still going to do stuff with that. That's not something that's going to go away. But they just put a small portion on that, just to say, they're still a media company.
Yeah.
You can't really get around that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Hongo, anything? Do you agree with that, or?
I don't blame them for talking about that because, like, if you go into any store now, they have all those Rokus and all those little set-top streaming boxes, which range in prices, but most of them go for about 70, 80, $100.
Mm.
So I can see why they'd want to be like, hey, we have these exact same video services on this, plus it's a game system and a DVD player and a Blu-ray player. So
Yeah.
And exclusive content, apparently.
yeah, I wonder how that's going to work because I know like on PSN they had they had the tester, which was like an exclusive content thing, which have like maybe some people watched. I never watched it. And then they had some anime series that was exclusive to PSN, but you had to
Damn.
buy the episodes for like $3.99. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it hit Netflix, which is where I watched it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Not so exclusive then. All right. So we move on to Shu Yoshida came on, and he was saying that they have over 30 games in development for the PS4, 20 of which will release in the first year. 12 out of the 30 are new IPs. So one of those new IPs was The Order 1886, developed by Sony Santa Monica and Ready at Dawn. So what did you think about that?
It definitely certainly looked interesting. It didn't really show enough to where you could actually be like, whoa, that was amazing. But it was all in engine, which was nice, and it just looked gorgeous. But, I mean, you can't really tell much from that. But steampunk is always a nice thing to see.
Yeah.
So,
I like that kind of style of games, steampunk.
It was very kind of, remind me of Dishonored. That kind of.
Yeah, I really like Dishonored too.
Ongo, anything? You
It
impressed?
looked pretty good to me. They Ready at Dawn. They did the PSP God of War games, I think.
Mhm.
So their pedigree's up there, so it should be pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Should be.
Should be.
But yeah, we don't really have much to go on with just that trailer.
Yeah.
So,
I'm kind of hoping it's going to be like, God of War Vicious with all that steampunk fanciness.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Blow off chunks of their bodies with a
Yep.
few of your gats.
good times.
Yeah.
And my wonderful mustache at the same time.
There was some quality facial hair going on.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
That could potentially be another thing we'll see coming up. Better hair modeling.
Hair is tough.
It is. Yeah, I think it's these little touches for the most part with next gen is what's going to make it so good. These little things that we wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That make it more believable. I mean, to go back to Division, which is my game of E3, sorry. Oh man, I watched that like 3 times yesterday. The trailer.
Yeah.
It is pretty amazing looking.
But it's that kind of game. There's things in there that I've wanted in games for a long time. Just tiny little things, and it's getting me really excited for console gaming again.
Alright, so
Right.
control your erection while we talk about the other trailers that were shown.
God, I just knocked over.
Okay, so they showed a trailer for Killzone Shadowfall, and it wasn't a trailer. It was like a demo. It was some other kind of level that we never saw before. It was like in a wooded area.
I'm in a wooded area right now. It's too easy.
You just had to go there.
He always does.
Oh my god. Alright,
So what should we think about Killzone?
Killzone looks gorgeous. They didn't show any of the big kind of special new thing. I hope what I get to see is that you get to control and fly a ship or something like that. Usually, for games like that, new vehicles is usually where the shining moments are. like with Killzone 2, it was like it was the of the back, and then I forget what it was. I don't remember three. There was about 3 too, but anyway, it didn't show that big special things for us. So, and also there might be a possibility you can play as a Hellgast. So that's the other thing.
You seem to be some kind of shadow marshal where you're not on either side. You're kind of just making sure that the peace is kept between the two.
Oh, I like that.
So, should be able to be killing both sides during the game, hopefully.
That'd be interesting.
Hongo, are you a Killzone man?
I've beaten Killzone 3, and I was playing through Killzone 2, and I have the collection, so I'm kind of playing them backwards. But I can tell it's nice to have some variety in the environments. I mean, there's some variety in Killzone 3, but a lot of it was kind of that, I don't know how you'd explain it.
Coffee filter.
Industrial.
Yeah,
Brown.
it's like, yeah, lots of brown and like cold and
It's
metal
very
and like
yeah.
the best part of that game was the ice level, or the ice, but where you take down those power plants or power cores or whatever in the drop ship thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I think the desert stage is pretty good looking too.
Yeah.
It flooded my eyes with red and dust and stuff like that, so I thought that was pretty amazing. They've always been fantastic visually.
Yeah, and they've really kicked it up a notch with Shadowfall. Going by the demo anyways. He's got a little drone thing by his side, and that seems to be important because I see it on the cover of the box art as well. So you'll have your little drone friend.
It's
Yeah.
like, chat.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a gun, but it'd be kind of weird.
Okay, I didn't really hear anything you just said there, but let's move on. Drive Club.
Oh, man.
They didn't show too much of that, actually. I don't remember too much.
It was pretty quick,
They
wasn't it?
just kind of re-emphasized multiplayer.
That was it, yeah. Nothing really to talk about there. Infamous Second Son.
That. Okay, everybody seen that game? TakuChat.
Yeah.
TakuChat.com. There's a gameplay trailer which is better than what they showed because it was actual gameplay and it looked brilliant.
Yes.
I can't wait to. Anyone wanted to? Gun, you take the lead on that one because you're.
All right. Although Hongo would probably know about this too.
Oh.
So maybe Hongo, you want to go?
What game are we talking about?
Infamous Second Son.
Oh, yeah, I thought it looked great.
Did you watch the gameplay trailer?
Yeah.
The actual gameplay?
Yeah, where he was taking out the WP.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and then like towards the end, there's like the big T-Rex fossil set up, and
Yeah.
I wanted him to go and climb on top of it and start raising hell and blasting everything with fire from on top of the T-Rex, but he didn't.
I thought he was going to destroy it.
Yeah, that's
He did destroy it.
I remember that. I must watch it again. It's good to see it across the board. It seems in a lot of destructibility. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm starting to like that a lot more. Again, once I go back to these little into it more, keep playing with. You play games this generation, and obviously it's harder to do, and it doesn't kind of take you out of it a bit.
Yeah, I agree. And it was also kind of cool that, there was one moment in the gameplay where he's like, he's doing the D-fire. He's just like, oh, heck no. Jumps off and then flies off at the platform he was standing and lands over and just keeps firing. And that's the kind of stuff I like. You can't just sit there and take cover behind trash and expect there.
Yeah.
Things proceed to fire at you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I really, really, really hope that this isn't recording what I'm hearing because you all sound like robots and I can't hear a word you're saying.
I can hear everything fine.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you give the person who lives in the sticks the power of recording.
Well, we shall see.
All right.
Just wait
Anyway.
Is it just
Let's not digress because I can't actually edit audio anymore.
fantastic?
So yeah, let's
All right then.
briskly go along with Knack, which will be launching on the PS4 by the way, and so will Killzone, Shadowfall, and Strife Club.
Yes.
What is Knack? I missed this.
Knack is like the new Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, I don't think nobody really recognized his voice, but that deep voice that you're hearing in the trailer was actually Knack. So Knack does speak.
Oh,
With
that's
a
pretty
really,
cool.
really deep voice. Nah, he speaks that deep voice you're hearing. We gotta go with the goblins. That was freaking Knack speaking. Apparently.
Nice.
Also, heads up, we're at 30 minutes now. Just so you know.
Well,
Right.
we're not really worried about it for the big ones anyway, because this is like 2 hours 45 minutes or something.
Okay, just so you know.
Okay, so
Do my job.
okay, shut your stinking notes. Okay, so
Okay, continue.
after this, David Cage came out. Or maybe he didn't. I can't remember. Yeah, but David Cage's game, the new one, like it doesn't have a name. Well, it's not even a game, is it? It's like a tech demo. The Dark Sorcerer.
Is there talk of this being a game at all?
I think it's just a tech demo.
No.
It was really funny though.
It was.
Yeah. They usually do this. They did one before Heavy Rain came out. They did one before they announced, and that they were a game version for PS4 as well because they were on PS4. So each one of those demos has always been well received, very fantastic. And this one was just hilarious. Show. So
Yeah, it's good just to see, you know, and God, what was I going to say? I was looking at his hair. His hair looked really impressive as well. I was trying to, when I was watching all of these videos, I looked at every single thing. But, yeah, again, I didn't see how they could make it into a game, but I thought they might because people are talking about it a lot.
right. Yeah, I think they also showed their creative side with that as well. They didn't use a lot of real they were using effects, not things like that. The previous demos they showed were just kind of like real world settings. You know, they're not really using a whole lot of effects and stuff like that. And this one was just completely different.
Hongo,
I like
are you
how-
impressed?
Yeah, I can see. What was that CG movie that came out a couple years ago with Jim Carrey?
See maybe that came out. Jim Carrey. Well, is there?
It was that made the Polar Express. It's based on
the Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol. Compare that tech demo to that. It's really impressive what these next-gen consoles are going to be able to do. Like, with enough resources and enough development, they can make these scenes and stuff in these games look very close to the multi-million-dollar big-budget render farm movies on just a single console.
Yeah, and running at 30.
Yeah.
Not rendering at 6 hours for free.
I've heard as well that
It's impressive.
If you've ever seen the render movies, I mean it's ridiculous. Like Avatar apparently had like 12 hours rendering per frame.
My God,
Yes,
that's
it's
insane.
Yeah, I think some cases were even longer and more complex.
That's gotta be horseshit. That's a long movie too, and per frame.
Yes, no, that's why they have like these big expensive render farms. You have like freaking 30 computers rendering either one or each and rendering an individual frame. Just all kinds of stuff that they do try and get around this. But for all that processing power, if you can just manage that in real time, it's just so much better. So the fact that they're developing these engines to do that, I think they're going to be doing a lot of movies in real time very soon, or at least smaller movies. And,
like a tech demo movie.
Yeah.
I'd love to see like game companies making movies. What do you?
Yeah, that's what I'd love to see too. Because just to see like a Resident Evil movie or something like that.
Yeah, I think a Resident Evil would be best G in my opinion.
Yeah. The CG ones I've seen have been good anyway.
Yeah. I watched that one where they're in an airport. Leon
Yep.
is in it.
Degeneration.
Yes, that's it. I really enjoyed that.
The only thing that's bad was like Leon's face. Like he had like uncanny. His face didn't look right in that whole movie.
I think I could agree with that, but
Okay, if you look at like Resident Evil, his face and Resident Evil and you Degeneration, he looks like a completely different person.
Interesting. Maybe they weren't going by that. They just wanted to do their own they're kind of taking them.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Shit, I forgot. Go on without me.
Alright, so moving on, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So after that, they showed off a whole bunch of indie games, and I'll just list them out really quick. And you can talk about them if you see anything interesting. Transistor, Don't Starve, Mercenary Kings, Octodad, Dadliest Catch, Secret Ponchos, Raised Dead, Outlast, Oddworld, New and Tasty, and Galac Z.
There for any of them, because yeah.
There's a few I could. One I really like the setup. Like they just have like the developers out there. They were just sitting there playing their games, and each screen was just showing up as they went. So I thought that was really really cool how they had it set up and they were introducing all that. As far as the games go, Mercenary Kings, I'm really excited for it because Paul Robertson, and that's pretty much it. I don't know anything about the game. I just know Paul Robertson is involved, and anything with his name on it, I just have to go for. And then Octodad is supposed to be just freaking hilarious. So every time I see it, it always looks cool. And also Oddworld too. I did that when I was a kid, and having them remake that just means I can actually complete it now, maybe.
I'm looking forward to Outlast, which is supposed to be very, very scary. Amnesia style scares. But yeah, that's the one there. And maybe Octodad too, because it just looks ridiculous.
Yeah. The crazier the better.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I thought Octodad looked pretty good, and then the Oddworld. And I really didn't see the other ones really. I think that's when my feed started cutting in and out.
I see.
Alright, so I don't think Badger had any interest in any of them.
No.
So we'll move on.
I'm not some fucking hippie who likes these indie games.
Okay.
I like freedom and I like my guns. But dude. Maybe games like Limbo I like to, maybe the games like that, but I'll wait and see.
I see.
But
Alright.
at the moment, I don't think to say. And let's move on.
So the next thing they showed off was like Diablo 3, and they showed off some exclusive items for the PlayStation owners. Was there anything worth talking about here? I wasn't really impressed with it myself.
Yeah.
I haven't played any of the Diablo games. I heard they're good though.
Yeah. I'm definitely so.
Yeah, it's good to have I love a good amount of co-op games. I like that. It's starting to show up a lot more these days too.
Yeah.
Which is something back in last generation. There was very little.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Okay, so I can't really hear you, so I'm assuming that you've stopped talking. And we'll move on to the next part. Or did Hongo want to say anything about Diablo?
I've never played the games. I just remember when my fifth grade teacher, he played one of the Diablos.
Yeah. Still a character then.
Okay, you're gonna has Hongo stopped talking about that now because I can't tell.
Fix your Mickey Mouse internet.
Anyway, the next one was a big one. Well, not for me or for Badger, but probably for you too. Final Fantasy 15. Take it away.
Yeah. I was like, my mindset was like, okay, it's like, oh my god, to see anymore, it's on a video now. It's like, wait, no, it's gonna be a very great disappointment prepare for disappointment. And then it's just, okay, we actually can't talk about it. But it's like, well, here we got something. Here we have something to show you. And I was when he was talking about we can't talk about this. We're gonna get it done in the next few days or whatever. I was like, oh man, they did it again. Trailer and it's freaking versus, and then all that looked 15 and we're like, yeah. It was all.
What's your thoughts, Ango?
I showed it in the next about back to back. It's like a double header hitter. I never expected them to show both of them. That's just that. Like the whole rest of the conference, I didn't care. Shown back to back, it's like this.
Oh man, when they I want to say a few things about and move on to the next thing that we're talking about. With 13, it looks like what they were showing things like, you know, it looks like there was like a cover system. It felt like a mix of like Uncharted, God of War, and all the Final Fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
So that was definitely pretty crazy. Like what they were showing in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you know, of course, all looked a lot better, but they had a more like a better animation system and stuff like that. Like before, he was just kind of running with explosion, seeing him like, you know, kind of on deck when he gets fired at and stuff like that. It was just really, really cool.
Yeah.
And then, huh?
This will be the game that will put Final Fantasy on a event.
Yeah, once it releases.
Yeah,
not even but yeah. But then they showed the big thing immediately after that, which, you know, they start showing like a few Kingdom Hearts things, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is a trailer for, you know, Kingdom Hearts HD. And then, you know, you hear Store talking from Kingdom Hearts 2, and I'm like, wait, Kingdom Hearts 2 is involved with that, Kingdom Hearts 2 HD? And then they still freaking Store in some kind of different kind of rendering, and I'm like, whoa, is that supposed to be an engine? What is happening? Cannot go on the Steam chat, and I was freaking out and stuff, and I was cursing like, oh my god, you motherfuckers, and yeah, I was like,
yeah, they showed that three numerals shot up, and then it showed Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah. Nobody expected that to ever happen until like next year maybe, or after the game came out, but no, they announced it beforehand. And
it looks like it's really early in development though, because like it looked like what they showed was like a test level.
Yeah, it may have even been just pre-animated. They had the impression it may have been pre-animated. And at least some things didn't make sense gameplay-wise. You know, I was like, okay, well, how did you jump? What button may be hit for that? I wasn't comprehending buttons when I was watching it. So, but I didn't care. It was freaking seeing it. Just blah.
Yeah.
All right. So,
all right, done.
Okay. I didn't hear a word of that, and I have a feeling that the recording didn't pick that up either, but we'll try and go ahead anyway with Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag demo, which was embarrassing.
Yeah.
Before they had their issues, you know, it looked like you know, they're obviously going with it. If it's not broke, don't fix a thing. But I find this new approach, you know, this new character pretty interesting, and I was glad until it's just locked up altogether, and then they didn't even mention. Sorry about that. You know, I know that it was probably a thing that went wrong, but I don't know. Like, get it together, lads.
Yeah.
My thoughts.
Yeah, the guy was obviously very, very disappointed. He was sitting there just going, "Oh my god, I can't believe this is happening."
I bet DICE are probably like, yes, we're not the only ones after the Battlefield 4 debacle.
I think this is probably the most messed up conference we've seen, like,
Sony
I don't think I've ever seen so much mess ups.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was crazy.
Have
These
we
things happened, but I didn't think it would happen twice.
ruled out the possibility that Nintendo sabotaged both of them?
No. The inside investigating this very claim as we speak.
One year, Nintendo, they were showing off a Skyward Sword, and like they couldn't get the motion controller to work right for Link to swing his sword, and like they were like, "Oh crap!"
Wow,
Yeah.
that would be pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, didn't they make an excuse for that? What was the excuse for that?
I think they just made a joke and laughed it off, and I think they got it recalibrated. I think it's the lighting that was messing it up on the stage.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty.
I think that's what they said.
We can't believe this happened.
So, outside of the difficulties anyway, what did you think of what was actually shown? Hongo, what did you think?
I honestly haven't played very many Assassin's Creed games. I've only played Assassin's Creed 2, and I didn't get very far in it, but cool.
Okay. Wolf?
It's what I expected. It wasn't like a big revolutionary change. It was, so.
Badger?
No comment.
No comment.
Yeah, I'm actually super tired.
Okay, well, because even if you did talk, it probably wouldn't have picked it up anyway.
No,
So,
yeah.
yeah, okay. So after that, they showed an NBA 2014 trailer, which was kind of LeBron James talking to a digital version of LeBron James.
Did anyone else how giant his mouth was?
Yes.
Dear God.
It was
God.
massive.
Like, to be honest, I wasn't that impressed with that.
Yeah.
The hand movement looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I noticed that when he was like grabbing for the ball, and in game, his hands were extending out, and like the fingers were reflecting, except for his mouth.
Yeah.
Is there anything anyone wants to add about that? Because
Anyone hear mad about NBA games and want to talk about it?
Of
course.
Not particularly. I'm more of a
Explosions.
Freedom.
yeah.
pervert.
Well, let's
Yeah, I
move on
play
to
those Japanese games that people try that there's an amazing amount of effort that goes into it to translate and uncensor and other things.
Yeah.
That's all I'm interested in.
I make the dialogue not completely insane.
Yes. Wait, no, they don't bother with that.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder if they did, if they actually didn't try to change it up a bit. How, because you gotta say that about Japanese writers, like their dialogue is a bit off the wall sometimes. They tell great stories though, but like I'm Get Note and some of the things they say is just like what,
Yeah. It's like Japanese humor. Like
yeah.
it's like I think this is supposed to be funny, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, their stories are brilliant though.
Yeah.
It's like freaking British humor. This is supposed to be funny, but
It is funny.
you have to I guess I don't know. I get it half the times, but then sometimes it's just like it's dry and I don't know. Yeah.
Well, you guys have Honey Boo Boo, so.
Yeah. We do blatant humor, not.
Yeah.
We're not proud of that.
Well, to be honest,
She's a national treasure. Don't you say that.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I do like a lot of American shows, though.
Yeah.
But
I have a feeling we're getting off track. So
yeah. No, let's just talk TV now. TakuCast TV.
We're gonna pull a Microsoft.
It's the Microsoft fanboy in me taking over television.
Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, okay, that looked really good. It looked just like Skyrim, except it's going to be with buddies. I mean, I think since I've played Oblivion, I've wanted a co-op game, a co-op Elder Scrolls game, because it's like, oh my god, there's such potential.
It's not co-op though. It's MMO.
Yeah, but you could you can do it. You can cooperate with other players if you wanted
I suppose.
to. Yeah. This is what you get when you talk out of line. You just look like a fool.
No, I don't. Wolf
It's
doesn't
also
think so.
worth noting that
Wolf just.
I'm not saying anything. I don't be involved in your bullshit.
Well,
All right. But no, it's worth noting that it's not supposed to be have an exclusive beta as well. But everybody signed up for the beta like a year ago, and they didn't mention none of this. So it's like, what the hell?
Indeed. So,
Yes.
yeah. Anything Hongo would like to add about that? Are you an Elder Scrolls man?
I've honestly never played them.
oh my god.
I know. I know. One of my online friends has tried to get me into it, and I've came close to buying the Oblivion complete pack for like $20, but
Oh, you
I had that.
idiot.
I know.
20. That's all. I mean, like, I'm telling you, like, you get your money back tenfold from that game.
Yeah.
And then you gotta play Skyrim, and then you gotta play. Have you played Fallout?
No, I haven't.
Oh, come on.
I know.
This guy.
I play all the cool stuff like years later. I'm like, wow, this is so cool, and everyone's like, dude, that was popular 5 years ago.
Yeah. It's like, dude, it's My Little Pony.
Speaking,
Huh?
I was just about to segue, but if you're not finished talking about that,
No, you're all good. Go.
okay, I was just going to say, speaking of Fallout, the next one is what everyone thought looked like Fallout, but it was actually Mad Max.
Yep.
What do you think about that one? Or what kind of game are we looking at here? Because it didn't really.
A mad game.
Isn't it from the
He's not
developers
a
of?
happy guy.
No, he's angry.
I wonder in game. I know there's probably not even a real stable build of the game going yet. Maybe. I always just say that when they don't show gameplay at E3.
Yeah.
But I wonder we'd be faced with choices like that. You might find somebody wounded out at the thing and at the desert, and ammo's so precious. He checked his ammo, and he didn't shoot him. I wonder is ammo going to be hard to come by? So you're going to have to be smart with it, or
Just use your car instead.
Yeah, use it when you absolutely have to.
But the thing is, though, it's developed by the same people that made Just Cause.
Oh.
I think that's kind of worrying because even though Just Cause 2 was a great game, like when you break it down and look at the shooting wasn't anything great to write home about. It was just like the amount of insane stuff you could do made up for the kind of like shoddy-ish gameplay.
Yeah, it was sort of like they did insane things. Suspect, don't look at us, don't look at us, don't
Yeah.
look at us.
So I'm wondering,
Yeah,
will Mad Max have these insane things to balance that out?
I would imagine. I think they could learn quite a bit from their previous game.
I'd say it's going to be a different game, though. With Just Cause 2, they were going for that whole, off the wall, mad shit. Mad Max would be a lot more grounded. There wouldn't be as readily available vehicles to get like sky high into the air, so you could parachute back down like 3 miles away from where you took off.
You remember the screenshots they showed though? They released some kind of blurry images of whatever game they were going to announce. I think Mad Max was it, and they were showing him falling from the sky and stuff like that.
That could still be Just Cause 3 though, couldn't it? It could have two in development.
Yeah.
Because it did look exactly like Just Cause.
Yeah.
From those screens, unless they're recycling, animations and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The character doesn't quite look the same from what I can tell. I'm actually looking at the screenshots right now. So it doesn't look like Mad Max because it has a giant shoulder pad. So it's probably not. But just looking at the brown tone that they were using, I had the impression that might have been it.
Okay, so after that, Hongo.
We can go to the next thing. I honestly don't know much about it.
Okay, fair enough. So the next thing was what everyone kind of considered to be the knockout blow.
Yep.
And what won it for Sony, which is the news that you can trade your games in at retail. You can sell them to another person, lend them to your friend, keep them forever, or whatever. Like basically the anti-Xbox One.
Or basically just like the PS3.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
So what did you think? Everyone was happy about that?
They pissed him their Sunday. They pissed him off Sunday.
Yeah. It's like everybody just went boom.
Personally, that's the only thing that got me really got me interested in a PS4 at all. Is it's cheaper and it doesn't have any of that. But at Microsoft, I'm just going to say it has better games right now than Sony, and that's my opinion. But I do think it's true. You have Infamous and Beyond, Two Souls, right? That's it for me personally. But I think they needed to do that because otherwise they would have crashed and burned. I mean, luckily they didn't, and they ended up embarrassing Microsoft. And I'm not impressed with the way Microsoft is doing business these days. They're definitely letting businessmen say how it should be run instead of gamers or people who are passionate about games say how the console should be run. But it's kind of frustrating me to look at all these things, and everyone's kind of forgotten that Microsoft came out with a slew of good games, like great games, some really interesting stuff. And it's just
True,
like, the price, bro, DRM, man. Again, I said before, it's not a good thing. And,
Like, the games they announced were good, but personally, nothing that they had there was good enough for me to overlook the DRM or the price.
Yeah.
I think,
Well, not even the price. I could get over the price, but the bullshit policies that they have in place.
I would like to debate you on this, actually. I think, because the reason I'm more leaning towards Microsoft side, and I could say the reason you're leaning towards Sony side, is you spent the whole last generation with it. You've got a lot of invested time, even if your gamer tag alone, just with the console. I'm finding it hard to stay unbiased, and I really am trying to be unbiased. Because I'm going to go with the next console that doesn't waste my money. But right now, as unbiased as I can be, it's still 50-50 to me, because Sony, once again, they're not coming out with powerful games where Microsoft are, but they're doing something stupid. You know what I mean? But
well, I don't think it's like you're looking at the launch period. Like the PS3 had a poor launch, but I think overall it had the best exclusives and the most numerous and varied exclusives throughout its lifetime.
Yeah, but how long did that take? That take to go off. I mean, you said to me the other day, look at The Last of Us, which is probably one of the best games this season or this generation, and I'd agree with you. And the same with Uncharted 2. It's probably one of the best games I've played, probably better than almost any Xbox game I played. But look how long it took Sony to get off their ass and start coming out with these great titles.
The point is that they can.
Oh, I know, but so can Microsoft. And I have said to you before that I will admit that Sony have way better exclusives than Microsoft. And definitely way more too. But I wonder, are they going to suffer again because they're so focused on what you call it? And definitely, I think they're focused on making sure it's not DRM and all this and that. Or they're just going to kind of lose sight. And
well, yeah, but
I think I could agree that that Microsoft did in a way have a better conference. There are some of the games, at least the ones that I was interested in, that might have swayed me. Are also going to be PC titles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but the PSC kind of has the same thing. I mean, Final Fantasy 14 and Kingdom Hearts 3, if those were exclusive, that would seal the deal entirely, but they're not, apparently.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm going to look through this list. Okay, The Order, exclusive. Killzone exclusive. Drive Club, Infamous, and Knack, right? But then you got Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Elder Scrolls, Mad Max. I'm not going to go through all the list because almost everything else was multiplat, and that's why it's 50-50 to me. But again, I think Sony definitely more people-pleasing financially, and
if you look over the order, where it says the order there, where Shu Yoshida came out, he said they got 30 games in development, 20 to release in the first year, 12 of them new IPs, and I think the order is the only new IP that we were shown. So there's still 11.
But what I want to know is how many of them are like little indie games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't personally count them too much. I'm talking about the big AAA.
Well, Journey was an indie game, and that's something that would sell systems for me personally.
Well, yeah, but that's one of them rare cases. I don't see that happening too much, and that's why I don't count it.
But there's still Naughty Dog's second team. We don't know what they're doing.
Oh, I know. I know whatever Naughty Dog is going to do, it's something I'm going to be interested in because they're brilliant. But this is why I'm finding it so hard to make up my mind, because I'm like, if I get Sony, I'm like, even though it's cheaper, am I still going to waste all that money that I could have waited and got an Xbox One and had all these guaranteed great exclusives coming out, because they do seem to be focusing on it more. but then they fucked up with their online side of things, where Sony seem to be focusing more on their online, which I'm really happy for. And I think it's a good thing that you've got to pay for PSN, because it means you're guaranteed to get a good service,
Yeah.
And it's not that expensive either. I like that too. It's not that expensive.
Hongo is staying pretty quiet there. Hongo.
Yeah, I'd like to hear Hongo's
Yeah.
thoughts.
Well, I've said this before. Probably, like, people would disagree, but I think Sony being knocked off of their, like, the transition from the PS2 to the PS3, they got knocked off their high horse, and they kind of got their act together and like, hey, we need to develop some really killer exclusives. Like, before that, they had them on the PS1 and PS2, but they weren't anything close to being big like Uncharted or...
Yeah.
The first Killzone, it was kind of depending on who you asked if it was good or not. Like, it was...
Yeah.
No.
Like, it kind of... And then with
Yes.
Killzone 2 and 3, they bumped up in the quality. And, like, when the PS3 was in third place when it first came out, they focused on development, and they came out with all these great exclusives and all these new franchises that they have now. And I really think that they, by being in third place at the first of the generation, they got their act together and focused on the software, which is where it really counts, and it's paying off for them now.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I do like that they are definitely trying a lot harder, it seems. They were on a high horse. I think that with the PS3, they were like, because the PS2 was so popular, they were just like, well, we're going to buy the PS3. They weren't really going to try to push themselves too hard. They're like, let's put all these really high specs in there, Blu-ray, which I really like Blu-ray. But then it just kind of fell flat, and then they were playing catch-up for ages this generation.
True.
True. I was just...
Now, one thing I could say, though, is I was actually thinking that Microsoft is kind of in the same boat that they were in. I mean, they can make a choice like this and know people are going to stay, because you have people that are by internet definition trophy whores,
Yes.
and they have this massive gamer score built up, and they can do this, and those people might not move on the sole fact that they have all this work put into it that isn't just going to go poof.
That's what I'm struggling with too, and I hate it. I hate that I'm like that. I hate that I'm one of them people. But that's another thing keeping me like in the middle, and I'm just gonna wait. Because at first, before I heard anything about DRM, anything like that, I was like, next Xbox, no way I'm getting a PS4. And then all these things start coming out, and seeing some of the good games that are on Sony. I mean, the games that they did show, were all right. Like. Things I'm interested in, I suppose, and I could get behind. Especially since a lot of them aren't exclusive, so I could still get the best of both. But it's a hard choice. For me, it's a really hard choice. I try not to be a fanboy. I hate them kind of people who just look at one side of the argument. You know what I mean? I'm seeing that a lot online, and nobody's trying to look at it's frustrating me a lot. I mean, I'll even say it. It's even on TakuChat a lot. I dare not talk about Xbox One because it's just like, it won't go.
I think people are like, I don't know. I can understand why people don't want the DRM, but at the same time, if like they've had a 360 all this time and it's online every single day, I think that sometimes some of the people are blowing the DRM thing way out of more proportion than it is. I mean, it sucks, yeah, but I don't know. I think some people are just blowing it way out of proportion, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm going to try to throw a random number out. Well, not a random, but a rough estimate of from the time I got my Xbox to now, to the amount of days I was offline and wasn't able to play it, like where I had internet problems. I say I had like maybe 10 days over the last 6 years, rather had 6 years, 10 days of no internet. You know what I mean? And that'd be the only time it would sting me. Other than that, it was always online. I never played offline.
Except for the time when the Xbox Live went down for like 2 weeks. What happens then? You can't play your single player games when their servers go down?
That. I think it was gradual. They didn't do it in every... Because I barely remember that. I don't remember having a 2-week waiting period. I'd remember that.
11 days, something like that?
There was a few days, but that was like one of the few times. And I've forgotten about it because that's how it carried,
Yeah, well, you forgot about it because you could still play your offline games.
Well, I played a lot, like Halo 3, I played that online, Bad Company 2. I was always playing online, I wouldn't really stick too long at single player, bar, Oblivion, Fallout. But now I've got a PC, so if I was offline Xbox Live, going to go on PC because I think right now PC is better than any console out there. and I'll probably keep playing it because PC games are unbelievable.
There's one thing. That was one point I was going to make about that. When it comes to the online thing, I think the online thing isn't necessarily a big deal for most people. It does kind of suck for people who are overseas or who don't have that constant internet connection, or people who are in the military and stuff like that. There's just not a lot of options there. But the big thing for me is just when it comes to game ownership. Owning when it comes to a lot of people, it's when it comes to the fact. Okay, the big thing for a lot of people when it comes to downloadable games is that they expect a downloadable game to be cheaper because you don't have the option of returning it. Once you have it, it's attached to your account, and you are somewhat limited on where you can take that game. It's the same thing on PS3. I actually purchased quite a few games from PSN just because they happen to be cheaper at the time, or it's just more convenient for me.
Yeah, definitely.
But I can't do anything with those games. I can't. I can let my friend borrow the game by letting him have access to my account, and I do that because he's my buddy and I want him to play the games that I play. And we can even play those games together. Like he'll just buy one copy and then we'll both play off of it, even though we're in completely different areas. And I love doing stuff like that, and that's great. And as far as I know, they're going to continue that. But from what Microsoft is saying with their used games or their used game system is, I can't particularly even let him borrow the game, or unless maybe I have my account information attached to his account or something like that.
He's got to be on your friends list for 30 days.
Yeah,
and then it's down to the developer. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's kind of they haven't really clarified. Like they should. It was kind of like either they should have clarified this, or they shouldn't have come out with it at all because there's still not enough details. I know to an extent it's up to the developers, I guess, but I mean there's also things like can he still play my game if my account is attached to his Xbox? Or is it just like I have my home console, it's attached to this console. And if he tries to play it anywhere else, he has to have a check every hour. I can't play along with him. There's no multi-console rule or something like that. Apparently, it's like they only permit family members to play the games that you own, which is kind of strange. Like, I don't know how they differentiate between that or how they factor that in.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't think it's going to be as hard or as bad as people are making out. I don't like it that it's there at all. I don't think it should be there at all.
Right.
But I don't think it's going to be as bad as people are saying. I think it's not going to be that hard to play with your buddy or, loan him your game. It's going to be kind of annoying that he has to be on your friends list for 30 days. I think that's stupid because, for a while, some of my friends didn't have Xbox Live, but they had an Xbox, so that I was, still able to loan them my games and, vice versa, but they weren't able to be on my friends list. So I don't like that at all. And that's, again, brings me back to why I'm struggling with my decision of what console to go to.
And one more thing too, they also said that used games and riddle games aren't going to be available at launch. So that means you can't what I would imagine is me being not the person that has a whole lot of money, I might end up buying a couple of games, and then when I want to try out some of the other games, I might end up renting those just to see what they look like. Because it's a new console, my new toy. I want to see what everything looks like. I did the same thing when I got my PC. I bought a bunch of cheap, beautiful games, downloaded a bunch of demos and stuff like that.
I did the same.
But that's kind of like one limiting factor is that they're not going to have those at launch, and who knows how long it's going to be before they figure that stuff out. Or if it's going to be it's only going to be particular retailers. How are they going to handle the pricing? Other things like that. It's just there's a heck of a lot of questions they haven't answered about this kind of stuff yet.
Yeah. Again, why I'm going to wait.
Right.
What about you guys? Are you getting? What's your? I'm sure PlayStation 4 across the board. Are you going to get it at launch?
We should also announce the price. I think we skipped over that.
It's $3.99. There you go. Oh, but it was like £342 in the UK.
£249.
£49 in the UK.
€399 as well, which does not translate to $399.
No, at all. We're getting blasted in the ass.
As usual.
Yeah, as usual. Again, I think that's why you're better to wait and maybe look. And I'm probably going to get mine online anyway, way cheaper.
No, I'm be getting mine day one anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got mine pre-ordered.
I should have pre-ordered mine sooner.
Don't worry, there's plenty of time.
I gotta have to do it online. Yeah. So which
yeah.
might have already passed its launch window pre-orders, which is also depressing. So I'm gonna have to. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that.
It's also two negatives that we kind of left out. That one of them is that now we have to pay to play multiplayer online.
Yeah,
and
that apparently does not apply to every game. By the way,
I want to say something about that real quick. Like, you should be glad they're finally doing it, because that means Sony's going to get a good multiplayer service, because it was tar.
Yeah, it was.
So, I mean, I don't think anyone should be complaining. For one, it's dirt cheap. I mean, if you can't afford, was it $5, probably €5 too? If you can't afford €5 a month, like, you know, you shouldn't even have a console in the first place, because you try to find.
You bought a $400 console, but you can't afford $5 a month to play online.
That's exactly it, Hongo. Yeah.
Well, actually, one thing I want to point out is that they did announce some one price change, which is you have the option of doing a month to month. The $5 a month thing is for you pay for a whole year, so it's essentially $60 one game, pretty much. But you can also do month to month for $10.
But yeah, you're paying 120 then, right? So
yeah.
I'm just going to say that I don't think there's a huge difference between. I know Xbox Live is better than PSN as it stands now, but I don't think it's a massive difference that everyone says it is. I know the party chat is good.
There is. As someone who's played both and played both for a long enough time, there is definitely. I can't put my finger on it, but I mean, I had way more lag problems, ages to getting in. Sorry, stumbling over my words. Ages to get into games. Honestly, the party chat was really annoying. It was really hard to stay in contact with friends outside the game lobby. You know, messaging and stuff was all over the place. But you know, you should be glad that they're doing this now, because I think it's good. I think you're going to start to get a really good.
You can tell with like if you ever play a Vita, like the social features and like connecting with your friends and starting stuff. It's like I expect them to take that to the PS4 and make it a ton better. But even if you compare like the Vita to the PS3, the Vita is like really user friendly when it comes to communicating with your friends list, as opposed to the PS3.
I found it really hard at first to get used to the whole sending messages. I remember when I got it, obviously added gun right away. I was looking forward to playing some games, and it was really hard. I found just to kind of get situated in the menu, you know, where it was what and etc. You know,
I could agree that it's the main areas where it's better is just how they handled accounts. It was kind of like, you know, whenever you played a multiplayer game, that you can immediately attach that multiplayer game to an account, and that was something that was enforced. It wasn't like optional. So I think with the PS3, they left it up to the developers a little bit too much, and that kind of dampened the experience.
Yeah,
in my opinion. So I think it's true that there's quite a bit of a difference there in terms of quality. I still enjoy what we have, but you know, I definitely agree that it's considerably better.
I still think it's a negative that you have to pay.
You're just spoiled.
It's not positive.
No, you should be looking at the bigger picture. You're gonna have a lot more fun on PSN now. I mean, how good would it be if you could just, like, you're all playing different games but talking together? They're pretty much like a party chat, you know?
Well, the Visa can do this, and that's free. That's free.
The PlayStation 3 can't.
Yeah, but the Visa can. Why are they able to do it on the Visa for free, but not on the PS4?
Because it doesn't have a lot of the streaming stuff.
Well, he's just talking about party chats and stuff.
That's just one feature that you're definitely going to get, but you're going to get a lot more. And also, you're going to get way smoother matchmaking. You know, things like that.
These are just things you're guessing. We haven't seen any of this in action, so
I can almost guarantee it, though.
Well,
I mean, I put money on it.
One thing I want to point out, though, in the video that I saw for the PlayStation UI, it did seem to show that you can lobbies were handled PlayStation side or console side. It seemed like. Just like with the things like the cross video chat and stuff like that. The thing with the voice chat on the PS3 though was really just like a round limitation. I don't think that's factored in at all when it comes to their pricing. I think it's really just like a lot of the cloud stuff that they have going on. They're gonna probably do a serious upgrade on that, and there's probably a lot more that they haven't included. And then on top of that, it's with PlayStation Plus. It's not a separate service from PlayStation Plus, so you get all those benefits that people enjoyed paying for before. Just it includes multiplayer now. So,
Okay.
and also wanted to point out that not every game, it's not as quite as restrictive as it is on 360. As far as from what they've said, not every game is going to require it. Some of the free-to-play games that they have aren't going to require the PlayStation Plus, like DC Universe and I think, what was the other game?
Planet
Elder
Side.
Scrolls?
Planet Side.
Planet Side. Yeah, Planet Side was what it was. So, I mean, I don't think it's as restrictive. I don't think it's going to be something you're going to need to play, Netflix and stuff like that. If you're not a person who plays online a lot, then it's not going to make a huge deal for you. You're still going to have access to internet features, according to what they said. But you're not going to be able to play, directly, directly with each other online.
All right. So the other Hongo, you haven't said anything about this, have you?
I honestly, I think that the social features on the PS4 are going to be a lot better. You can just tell that, like, just comparing even the Vita to the PS3. Like the Vita, even though it's not the most popular handheld of choice, unfortunately, it's its social features are really well done.
I agree.
And they're just going to carry that over to the PS3 and expand it, I think.
It seems to have its own kind of Facebook style pages going on. Like you can like things if someone earns a certain trophy or something like that in the video that they showed.
You can comment on it and like it, and it's like the social features on the Vita are like a little mini Facebook, but just for PlayStation.
All right. So, anything else to add about that?
No.
All right. So the other little negative, I suppose you could call it, is the whole cloud gaming stuff won't be available until 2014. So all that kind of streaming, the backwards compatibility stuff like that, so we won't see that till next year.
Yeah.
You'll be up to your eyes in next gen games to care about old games.
Well, that's true, but it's a negative to some people anyway.
I don't think it should be. It's coming to you. Enjoy your new console. You can play your new games next year, or your old games next year, or plug in your PS3. Sorry to interrupt there.
Yeah, they usually have a slow rollout for that kind of stuff anyway. And it was the same thing with the Vita. I don't even think every title is officially available every PSP title is officially available on the Vita yet. I mean, sure, you can get them on there, but they're not officially available yet. So the backwards compatibility rollout's usually slow because they're always. I guess they do like a certification process or something that just makes it take so long. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else about that? So can we move on to Destiny?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
Which could be arguably the most impressive game that was showed off for the Sony conference.
Yeah, it looked very fun.
Yep.
I gotta say. So who wants to take the lead on this one? Hongo. Hongo's gonna speak some more.
It looks like Bungie is really focusing on the PS3 version PS4 version of Destiny compared to the other versions that are coming out.
What makes you say that?
Just the way that they showed it at the conference, I guess. And I mean, they didn't they feature it more at the PS4 conference than the Xbox One? Didn't they show it at the Xbox One reveal conference?
Yeah, I think they might have said it's there, but what I think it's probably just to let everybody know that they're not not Microsoft's woman no more. They're strong. They're strong. They're independent, and they don't need no man.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because like Bungie is with Sony now, and then Insomniac is with Microsoft. And
I mean,
not exclusively.
Yeah,
they're not exclusive yet, but
it's weird. It's weird to see
swapping roles.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'd rather have kept Bungie, to be honest, but here we are. If I was Microsoft, but I guess I don't know. I think Microsoft had a lot of creative control on Halo or something. I'd say they were looking forward to getting away from them.
It's possible.
What do I know? I'm not in the business, but if I was to speculate,
they're probably maybe they just didn't want to make Halo anymore.
Yeah.
Microsoft are saying, "Well, you're going to keep making Halo, bitch."
thank God, because I mean, Destiny, like, you know, look what they had in them. I'd say that's the kind of things they wanted to be doing. They had all these great ideas that they couldn't, you know, bring to fruition because they're under Microsoft's thumb as far as Halo goes.
We'll talk about what impressed you in the demo that was shown.
Well, I want to say one thing though. If they stayed with Microsoft, we might have ended up with some of those more risky things like what Kojima is doing. You know, they could have started doing something really dangerous just to kind of.
Yeah, I want out.
Yeah.
Watch me kill some
Like,
children.
okay, like,
Yeah, press
Yeah.
X to rape a goat. And people be all over that. Hey, looks like.
man.
Hey, well, Microsoft, you seem pretty pissed. I guess we better break this contract now, huh? Hold on, my dog
It's
is
like,
trying
oh,
to
you
steal
guys,
some Captain Buns.
You guys want to keep me making these games, huh? All right. Well, you guys asked for it.
Yeah, I should rescue the chocolate buns for my dog.
I think it'd get really, like, even though if a franchise is really good, just keep making entries in it for years and years and years, it'd probably get really old and draining on the creative side of the development.
They've already planned Destiny to last for 10 years with a trilogy or something.
Interesting. I like, if any of you guys have played Halo enough, you'll definitely see the Halo influence in there with the animations, the way the guns work, the way the guns even look, and a Borderlands influence there too with the loot system, but I think it's going to be more fun than Borderlands. Although I didn't like Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2 was fun.
Yeah.
You also have to keep in mind that it's an MMO, so that changes things.
That's true, yeah. It's not fair to compare them too much.
Like that public event thing that happened.
Oh my! I think that's what I was most impressed with. Like on the fly, that just happened, you know. And well, obviously they had that planned to happen, but in game, you know, obviously it's going to be the same thing. You might just be chilling, you know, in Russia, whatever.
I was wondering if like the scenario there. Was that like somewhat of an instance, or was it like that was still like you still run other people while you're doing that mission? You know, that's what I was trying to figure out, because they had it where the ship came in and dropped off this other character, and then, you know, they go into this place, nobody else is there. The boss, and they left the place. This event started, and everybody else just kind of came into it. So I was wondering if that was like a dynamic instance that I was seeing there, because I can't see that working right there, and you're doing this dedicated.
I was watching a interview, I think it was with IGN. They said that the loot that appears will only appear on your screen, and everyone else will nobody's like. He said in the Microsoft cast that you know, I just show up later. Thing. Or camera. But you know, so pretty much you don't have to worry about other players coming in and stealing your loot if you did all the work. It's just going to appear on your screen for you, you know.
Okay.
I like that too.
I like that a lot, yeah.
Yeah, it's just fair. Yeah. I'm just saying, myself and Gunnar playing, and he was doing all the work, you know, absolutely owning everything, and I'm just like, you know, looking at the sky, and I'm like, oh shit, look at this Unreal gun. Did not work for it, you know. and then Gunn is going to be like, oh, you prick. And then we hate each other, and yesterday could potentially tear families apart if it didn't do that. So.
It's true. Everything you said is true.
Yeah.
You're just as much of an asshole as my friend, so.
Yeah, so yeah, that's good. I mean, they're doing the right things. I definitely trust Bungie to come out with a great game.
Yes.
I'll definitely be picking up that one anyway. What about you?
Yeah, sure, for sure. It'd be stupid to miss it.
Yeah.
It's like if you didn't play the Elder Scrolls game. Okay, so what else do we got? Unless I'll say if you want to talk about Destiny, open to that.
I think that's all.
Yeah.
Built the universe. I don't know what the fuck that is.
You never played it?
I don't know what it is at all.
It's kind of, it's pretty cool. It's like a, it's for I guess it's kind of like what was it called? That game that came out, that Marvel game that came out.
Ultimate Alliance.
For me, it's kind of like that, except just MMO. Pretty much how I reacted to it playing it. Except, you know, with a bit more of that MMO playing to it, just a little bit less action. You know, it still had to go out the same kind of experience.
Yeah.
So
There you have it.
So sorry to interrupt, but like recently you started cutting out a bit again, so maybe I think this could be a good place to wrap it up because it's hard to hear. Just in case I'm not recording this properly.
Yeah. Okay.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this podcast, especially since I know nothing about. Well, I don't remember much about the Sony conference.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about the Microsoft, so we're on even ground.
I'm the Hongo of this episode. I feel like I feel like such a failure.
I'll be the hongo for the Nintendo.
We're having
would be
huge things.
too. Actually, don't you guys watch the?
Yeah, I watched most of it. I'm gonna watch
God.
the rest soon.
Okay, we'll try and get through that anyway.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that after
I
I stop recording. So
Yeah,
maybe
I
say your
can't-
goodbyes or something.
All right, later, guys.
Au revoir.
Sayonara.
All right, bye bye.